It's come to my attention as people are starting to find my channel and watch these videos that they don't understand what I'm doing. So I guess it's time for a refresher of my mission statement. New York City is huge, and there are so many interesting places that nobody talks about or goes. All that I'm doing is taking day trips to go find those places and recording hopefully interesting videos along the way. I love to explore the city, and I love making videos. I'm just doing both of them at the same time. So keep coming along with me. Unless you don't want to, then don't. But if you do like what I'm doing, tell your friends and be sure to subscribe. The express train was not so express this morning. We were crawling around like we were going through a school zone all the way down the island. Today I'm back in Brooklyn. So there are a bunch of bridges that cross over from Brooklyn to Manhattan. And we've already walked over the Brooklyn Bridge, which I think is agreeably the best one to walk over. But I figured, why not give the other ones a try? So today I came to the Williamsburg area of Brooklyn, and we're gonna walk over the Williamsburg Bridge, see what else we can see along the way. Should be nice. I just looked at the map again and realized that I went the wrong way. So we'll go a different way than the way I thought I was going. But check this out. It's cold again. I like it. All this week it's been up in the 60s, which has been nice. But today it's back down to 32, and I love it. There's that question people ask, would you rather be cold or hot? And my answer is, well, neither, but I like cold weather better. When it's hot outside, you can take off all your clothes and still be a hot, sweaty mess. But if it's cold outside, you can throw on another layer and still be nice and comfy. I like the cold weather. First stop here is called Ferry Park. It's not very large. Right on the river though, it's nice. There's the Williamsburg Bridge right there. Off in the distance we can see southern Manhattan, One World Trade over there somewhere. Well, this is an interesting little feature. One of the aspects of this area is the Domino Sugar Refinery building over there. This was the main Domino refining plant until 2004. We'll go over there in a minute. I imagine that this stuff had to do with that, since this is Domino Park. But instead of me standing here taking guesses about what this might actually be, I'm gonna go up into it and see if there's anything that says what it is. Let's go. Nope. All it says is it's an artifact. Let me check the internet. Okay, here's what I gleaned from the internet. So you got these beams, and they run all the way along this elevated walkway. This, if you look closely, you can see used to be one of the walls of the old factory. These things were cranes that they used to unload goods off the river, and they run along tracks that go all along this building here, where they used to anyway. It's a pretty cool looking playground down here too. It's a nice little park. The other thing I just read is that all of the wood that's used in all the structures around here, like the benches and chairs and stuff, is reclaimed wood from when they tore the factory down. So that's kind of cool. And the building behind me is the only building that's left that was part of the Domino Sugar Refinery complex. So that was built in 1882 and continued to operate from then until 2004 when it finally shut down. Now they're in the process of repurposing it, and they're supposed to be done with that by 2025. They've added an interesting domed glass sunroof kind of thing to it. It's a pretty cool old building though, and it's got that huge Domino Sugar sign on it still that shines across the river to Manhattan every night. I think this is supposed to be a pretty cool fountain. but it's cold, so it's not on. Some fantastic bleacher seating right here on the East River. You can sit and gaze for as long as you'd like during opening hours. So right here we got the Williamsburg Bridge, which we're going to cross over in a little bit. And behind that is the Manhattan, and then behind that is the Brooklyn Bridge. This park is interesting. There are a lot of these artifacts around from the factory, but no real indication of what any of them actually were. I mean, I can take guesses, but you know. Old stuff is cool though. Hey, look what I found. That way. Beach volleyball. Nice. Closed up for the season though. This is such an interesting building here. It goes up and over with a hole in the middle. Kind of cool. And then back here you might have a better view of the glass top that they added to the refinery building. Also kind of cool. So you usually see the Williamsburg Bridge from a distance, and so you don't really notice all the detail in here. This is incredible. I don't think I've gotten up this close to it before to really notice all this stuff. It was completed in 1903, and when it was completed, it was the longest suspension bridge in the world until 1924. Beautiful bridge. Underappreciated, I think. So you got a straight shot, the Statue of Liberty lined up right down the East River there underneath all those bridges. I don't know if you can see it in this shot or not. Well, that's the way I was going to go. I guess I need to find another way. It seems as though all the construction is going to complicate this a little bit. Now I need to walk back around to be able to get onto the bridge walkway, and it looks like I can't go the most direct route anymore. Oh well. Now that I just walked past that refinery building again, I'm looking at it more closely, and it's interesting because I think what they've done is they've just kept the brick shell of the building, and they've built an entirely different new building inside that shell. And that's what that glass roof is sticking out the top. Interesting. Don't mind if I do. Pretty clean, pretty nice. Now let's go find that bridge. There's the wind again. It's cool. Ah, see? Here's a picture of what they did. You can see the building inside the frame. So I'm having to walk back down along next to the approach to the bridge to the point where I can get on the walkway that goes back up over the bridge, and then we'll walk across. There are subways that cross this bridge too. That's why it's pretty loud. They got a beanbag on the roof. This doesn't have the same kind of magnificence that the Brooklyn Bridge does, but it has a magnificence of its own. And I hadn't realized when you cross the bridge here, you're like right next to the subway tracks. Kind of cool. I'm just taking my time, enjoying the structure, and I just looked up and realized I'm not even out past the first tower yet. I haven't even started to cross this bridge. It's just so industrial. I love it. It's like being in the Eiffel Tower. Very industrial revolution. Got the Domino Refinery over there and the park right down there where we just were. The views are great, except for all the metal fencing around on each side, but you know, safety first, I guess. I reached the halfway point, so I'm out over the middle of the East River right now. It's hard to see from here, but the Concorde that's usually in the Intrepid Museum is over there in that Navy Yard right now. They moved it a little while ago to do work on it, I guess, and they haven't moved it back, so it's just sitting out there on a barge. As I'm looking over the side here, I see that the park that I was planning as my final destination looks like it's completely under construction, so I'm not sure how we'll end this whole adventure. I will say there's a lot of graffiti on this bridge, which is unfortunate. Or fortunate, I suppose, if that's an artistic medium you're drawn to. I just realized the differentiation. This is the bike side. I was on the people side. That was a nice little walk across the bridge. I took it slow and soaked it in. I'm not sure how far into the island this thing's going to put me when I'm finally off the bridge. Another adventure. Well, I'm off the bridge. It's amazing with bridges like this because usually you're in a car going by fast and you don't really get to see the bridge, but there's so much detail here. It's incredible. Beautiful industrial detail. All right, I think I figured out where I am. I'll head back to the subway now and back up to the east side. It feels colder than it did before. Excitement on that last subway ride, I'm not sure I can do it justice retelling the story, but I'll try. So there were two guys on the subway holding onto a piece of furniture, and they were both dozing off. So they would fall asleep, and their hand would fall off the furniture, and it would start to tip over, and they'd wake back up quickly and grab onto it. And one of the guys would fall asleep and wake back up, and then take a swig of vodka from a plastic bottle in his pocket, and then fall back asleep again. Always an adventure on the subway. It's a fun little trip, nice little bridge. I'll see you next time.